Hello, everybody. It is time for the Curiosity Challenge, Strixhaven, week number 3. I'm Nathaniel, twitch.tv/the_ida, with Zach, twitch.tv/swordsandstatutes. We have free weekly 3-match tournaments each Saturday at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. And you're either watching live on Twitch or undead on YouTube. But, before we go into it, Zach, what is Curiosity?
Well, Nathaniel, Curiosity is the most affordable, the most accessible way to play Magic. It is a 40-card minimum format with a 8-card sideboard, and we use the most recent set of standard Magic cards. And there are rarity restrictions. In your 40-card deck, you must have 2 singleton rare or mythic cards, and you must have 6 uncommon cards with a maximum of 2 copies of any one uncommon. The rest of your deck can be commons with a maximum of 4 copies of any one common, and basic lands. Your sideboard does not necessarily have rarity restrictions in the sense that you can have as many rares as you want as long as they are singletons, and as many uncommons as you want as long as your total number of any one uncommon does not exceed 2. And especially for Strixhaven, because there is the Mystical Archive, all of those cards are legal. At the rarities, they are printed in the Mystical Archive.
Nice. Well, thanks, Zach, for that. You know what makes Curiosity just a little bit different than other tournaments is we do play on Discord. What? We do play on Discord, and we have rooms for you to voice chat with your opponent. So it kind of feels a little bit more like that Friday night Magic we were all used to playing. And just by participating in our free weekly tournaments, you do get points. So at the end of the season, we cut to the top 7 to find our crowned cave dweller. And, if you're watching this video on YouTube and you're like, hey, there's only 1 week left, well, anyone who doesn't make top 7, there'll be a special losers tournament beforehand, and you can get that 8th spot. So let's go on to round number 1 of this week. I'm pretty pumped.
Woo!
Okay, here we are. Week 3, round 1, pro gaming mode, aka Jerome versus Teelz.
So Jerome last week played back in week 1, played a sort of Prismari spells kind of thing. And it looks like he's swapped it up toward a teamer build.
Okay.
Whereas, let me pull up Teelz's deck list. I believe our winner from last week, Andrew, may have inspired Teelz to make almost exactly the same Golgari list.
And getting 8 life on that, 1 swing. So starting off on turn 4, Teelz has 34 life. Are we playing Commander? Because that's a lot of life.
Yeah, what was the card that was used there? Fortifying Draft?
Fortifying kick ass.
Yeah, because that's an insane swing. And it'll take a lot for Jerome to really be able to kind of dig out of that hole, especially when he has kind of a sort of slow hand here.
It's a slow hand. His opponent ramped up hardcore and is at 6 lands versus 4, which could be worse.
And also the fact that Jerome just got down, was that Quandrix Apprentice? That's one of the best ramp cards in the format. Being able to get a land into your hand nearly every turn, definitely going to increase the ramp potential. I mean, looking at next turn, he can get down either Archmage Emeritus to begin having some card draw, or just drop the Serpentine Curve to block up the board.
Yep, but we do have this exile kind of sideboard card. Getting rid of the Pledge Mage, I think kind of valuing getting some damage in right away. I wonder if we'll see an attack. Nope. Okay.
Okay.
A very interesting kind of removal spell.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Teelz didn't go in for the attack there, because that would have been at least one ping off of Dinah, and perhaps even taken out the apprentice.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see that this apprentice is going to this apprentice is going to go places.
So I was going to say, like, Jerome went and grabbed environmental sciences. He had Introduction to Annihilation and Mascot Exhibition to choose from. He's running a learn board, and environmental sciences is an interesting choice there.
Well, I think he has Mythic's Mastery in his hand, and he says, well, I think I can survive this. My opponent has some damage in, but you can tell that Teelz wants to preserve his creatures. So this alligator is going in and didn't want to even offer the trade for the leech fanatic.
Very thoughts on that Moldering Karok, because that is a card that I have undervalued in draft and been quite impressed by.
I'm not gonna lie, the crocodile is probably the best Dundee that you ever see. It's annoying. It's 3 mana, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
3 mana, lifelink, trample, life trample link, 4 mana, trample link, just really great. And his opponent just playing a land. Now I think what we're gonna see, we're just gonna see Jerome build up card advantage, play a Eureka moment, because the board is pretty stale, and we're gonna see this mastery sooner than later.
So Teelz is holding up priority here on Archmage Emeritus. Perhaps he's having some connection issues, but he could also be considering, I guess, sacrificing something with Dinah. However, Eureka Moment is going to really ramp out Jerome here. He'll be able to do it on Teelz's instep, get that mountain down, and just get ready for Mythic's Mastery.
Yeah, see this Fumes? You're gonna try to. I think Teelz sees this this nice draw engine, but now it's kind of too late to take care of those powerful creatures, and maybe not.
So I think that probably is that's a decent move, because the Pledge Mage could take out the Karok, which is the main sort of source of lifelink and pings that Teelz can generate right now.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas right now, Jerome can only do this block with the Pledge Mage.
Yeah, but we would probably have seen that anyways.
True.
And while Teelz has 40 life, it doesn't seem to be that scary, because Jerome's only down to 3.
Yeah, and honestly, he may end up milling himself with Mythic's Mastery, because that's going to draw so many cards once it is actually cast. And Archmage Emeritus is going to be drawing cards too. So, and especially being able to thin the deck of all these lands. Yeah, Jerome has 10 cards in deck.
That is a little wild. Does have a Serpentine Curve that's going to be a lot larger than what his opponents have access to. But yeah, he's going to draw more cards.
So,
trying to put that Creative Outburst on top of his deck, but that's not how it works.
looking back at Jerome's deck list too, there's not a way that he can put things on the bottom of his deck or on top, like a memory lapse, or there's the I think the Biblioplex Curator, the 6 mana artifact that puts something on the bottom of your deck, which could have him avoid this instance where he may mill himself out.
Oh, I think that's why he got rid of that Archmage.
Okay. Oh yeah, with that block right there.
Definitely offered the block. Getting rid of 2 campuses in the graveyard because this game is not going to be lasting super long.
Okay, a test of talents to slow down ramp and maybe learn was what he was going for there, because there is a, let's see what's in Teelz' sideboard here. Could be learned for. There are some inkling summonings and a past summoning, so could be worth it.
And look at this. Having being able to draw all these cards, it seems like he didn't have a great easy time to kind of get by. But hey, his opponent just says, you know what, I can't deal with this, and says good night. So that is Jerome taking game 1.
That was fascinating, because we saw how Teelz, I guess, took the block of the Archmage Meritus. I think the better plan would have been to just let that go through and have Jerome mill himself out.
Yeah, when you have so much life, you forget that you can use it as a resource. So very interesting move on Teelz' end. But hey, you know, we're still in the beginning of the season. This is only week 3. So, you know, maybe just a little bit of and it's just the first match of the day. So maybe just getting those dusting off those cobwebs, you know?
And we did see Jerome bring in Draconic Intervention, which is excellent when paired with a Elemental Masterpiece.
Yeah, I mean,
discard that and then get that big sweeper.
What's interesting is he decided to take out the you know, the creature that drew him too many cards. So kept in the mastery and took out the other thing.
Let me see, how many cards that are creatures does that Jerome actually have in the deck? There's not many. There's only 8 creatures in the deck, so now only 7.
Only 7, but I mean, we have a lot of great creatures here. Although Teelz did go for the Inkling that can fly above. With this Winter Bloom Apprentice, he's you know, pinging off some damage without having to attack in. I mean,
oh man, actually, it'll be tough for Jerome to get past that Inkling summoning. It's almost something where he's on a 10-turn roll, an 8-turn clock now, 9-turn, because there's nothing in his deck that has reach or can directly go against damage there. He doesn't have a mage duel or anything like that.
Well, he does have creatures that can get big. He
Very
does
true.
have
And
the
then there'll be a
mastery. Okay, so it looks like all of these cards. He knows his opponent only has a forest in hand, so not the worst that can happen.
I'm going to go make a treasure here and discard that Elemental Masterpiece. Hoping for that Draconic Intervention right now.
I mean, really just hoping for a lot of action. Because the Pledge Mage is a little bit too small to kind of get enough trades in. Oh, the Quadrix. Or sorry, yeah,
Mhm.
Quadrix. The Prismari one, yeah, why not?
Yeah, that seemed like a decent move because, again, Teelz would have had to trade the Karok, which would be not what you want to do now that you got a Blood Researcher down.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that you're to have no way to deal with this flyer and an island and pledge mage. Probably what we're gonna see here. Um, I wonder if we hold up. Okay, no, just Serpentine Curve. I was
Okay.
wondering if we were gonna
Yeah.
hold up for a scry, but it seems like that might not be the way that Jerome wants to go.
So I'm expecting a large push here. That seems a bit safer than you might expect. But that was a decent trade for Jerome there. It's not going to grow Blood Researcher all that much, and not too many pings off of Witherbloom Apprentice there.
Yeah, but see, now we're gonna have Blood Researcher get up to a 6/6. So you're okay now. 7/7. I don't know if you want to attack with this, but I mean, I would just do the Prismari and the Serpentine in this life, and yeah, it looks like
Yeah,
Jerome saw the writing on the wall and said, "Yeah, I'm down to do that too."
it is interesting that Teelz didn't go in with the Inkling, though, because that's free damage essentially. We are getting a scry. Eureka Moment's not going to do it. It's only going to be, it doesn't have enough to play it.
Yeah, but it's gonna help. It's a good spell to draw on, and I feel like yeah, this attacking with this 4/4 is just what you got to do.
I don't know. Doing that, it was clear that Teelz was just going to take that block and make his life total even higher. We do see the Inkling come in and just kind of keep chipping things away. However, double Quandrix Pledge Mage is pretty hard to come back from, especially when everything is triggering now.
I wasn't really a fan of that play. I think he should have attacked first and then with the Quandrix, but I guess he wasn't planning on attacking. Just because we've seen this style of play from Teelz where he will double block, triple block just to take out a creature.
So here, got Teelz down to 11, so it is a much closer game now. But Jerome gave up his Quandrix Apprentice, which is pretty key to his ramp strategy. But maybe he figures he's already passed all the ramp I need to do.
Yeah, now he's just hoping for top deck gold. And we'll be able to look at 2 cards, right? Or no, 1 card. This is solve the equation.
Go and find it.
I thought it was the other look at your cards kind of thing. And forcing in lethal, but then there's you have to block, right?
Yeah.
And Teelz
there's the win.
says that he's done blocking.
There we
Well,
go. Good job, Jerome.
Yeah, good job, Jerome. That was round number 1. Interesting. So I think this has kind of happened recently in that that was that first deck, or sorry, Teelz's deck was kind of based on or might have been a net deck of the first week's winning deck. And to be honest, I have played that deck, and I have yet to win with the Andrews first week Crowned Cave Dweller deck. Have you looked at it yet?
I've looked at it, and I've had similar decks to that in draft, and it's something where that is sort of a glass cannon deck, Whereas some of these other Prismari decks that want to do nothing for the first like 5 turns and then just hit you real hard. Those have more legs in them later in the game. Whereas the Witherbloom curve out decks, once you get past turn 3 or 4, if you run out of cards, that's game.
And that's kind of what we saw. Well, that was round 1. We'll be right back with round number 2. Round number 2, we've got Auroll versus Sung. We're watching Auroll's deck, and it looks like we're a big mana matters deck because Auroll kept a 5 mana and 2 ramp hand.
Yeah, Auroll playing the double cultivate and the let's see, 3 Eureka Moment.
Eureka Moment is one of my favorite cards in this set.
It really does feel like a fixed growth spiral, so I'm very glad to have been able to play with it.
Did you say thick or fixed?
Both.
Oh, okay.
The thing about Auroll's deck, though, it is a 4-color control. The only creature that Auroll has is already in his hand, Biblioplex Assistant, and it looks like we're going to see some sort of bounce effects here, because Auroll is also running Approach, and
okay.
His 2 rares are Approach and Demonic Tutor, so a very straightforward game plan.
I think
you gotta respect.
I think what Auroll said at the beginning of the season is he is going to make Approach work. He is 0-1 for this week, but not everyone can be a winner.
However, Auroll has been a winner in the past. They've gotten to the finals both seasons that we've done formal finals. Man, we're seeing a Eureka Moment come down here. Lots of options.
I mean, yeah, but you're gonna do the pledge mate or the campus.
The campus, yeah. Clear pick, easy dub.
And it looks like Sung most likely is running a control deck, and I think that's why we haven't really seen much on Auroll's side of the things. He wants his opponent to make the first sneeze.
Yeah, both these players are just going to be kind of staring each other down until one of them blinks. Dropping the flunk to the bottom, definitely a good move right there. Because, oh wow, okay. So looking at Sung's deck, he has 0 creatures, or they have 0 creatures, and is also running Approach.
All right, so we got Approach mirror match.
And you know what? I posted on the Curiosity Instagram, which if you haven't followed, we'll have a link to it in the description. And it's on Twitch. It's the best cat magic Instagram to ever follow. I posted there about how just asking what folks thought was going to be the most played Mystical Archive card, and how so far it's been Approach, and I think that's going to hold this week.
I definitely think it's going to hold, although Approach is kind of a scary card to play because it is a super glass cannon, especially when you have Test of Talents in the format. There's not a lot of counter spells, but when you know what your opponent's win con is, then, well, you're going to find it.
Big question here, though. Is Sung going to counter Demonic Tutor? We have open deck lists, so... Oh, wow, okay. We do see the counter coming.
I think a counter here means that Sung probably does not have Approach in their hand, and maybe not noticing that you you can pay to not have to deal with that card.
Yeah, Whirlwind Denial, of the counters in Strixhaven, there's only really 2. There's Reject and the Test of Talents, and then Whirlwind Denial. It is, I think it's better than Reject, but that's not saying much.
Yeah, what's really cool about it, and I've played Whirlwind Denial wrong a ton of times is that trigger of abilities as well. So triggers and whatever. So yeah, Biblioplex gonna bring back our spell. So this is an interesting thing with the you know, having to deal with these you know, glass cannon decks is I think you can do this.
Oh wow. Yeah, to just completely deny the learn. That's some high level hot tech for Auroll there. Do we see approach?
Honestly, I feel like approach is better than demonic tutor, but you might be thinking my opponent might be playing that, because if you we don't have the mana for it.
You don't go.
You want to be safe.
Wait.
Gotta be safe.
Auroll,
no. Auroll, no. Oh.
No. Oh man! If he had just waited one turn, he could have done it too. So here's the thing: like Auroll could have effectively won next turn too, because they could have, well, not next turn, but the turn after, because they could have played approach and then played demonic tutor to get it back. And oh man, and Auroll watches our YouTube videos, which you should too.
Yeah,
you're not already here, but he's gonna see us and be like, oh man, what did I do?
Yeah, we got a great YouTube channel. It's not just tournament coverage, but it's also pack openings and tournament coverage.
And deck techs.
Started
doing that this week. I don't think Auroll can win now.
Auroll can win by letting his opponent lose. So if Auroll just stops drawing cards, we're just going to have a draw off.
Another way Auroll can win, let me see what's in his sideboard. I think he has a learn board as well, or a lesson board. Yes, Auroll has a mascot exhibition in the sideboard. Actually, Auroll has a very well constructed sideboard that we'll get to when we cover that. But he has a way out of this.
Okay. And it's not the concede button?
That is probably the best way out. But I think you're right, though. His best approach is to make Sung either mill themselves, or okay. I'm gonna go get the mascot exhibition. That will probably get countered too, but then we have the test of talents up.
Yeah, but I think that Auroll can't not mill, can't wait for the mill, because I think, as we see, Auroll has drawn a ton of cards. So
because doesn't approach draw you cards?
Approach doesn't draw you cards, but we've had a few draw. You know, we've filtered out our lands. We've done a lot of things.
Academic probation is an interesting choice. Can't cast spells with a chosen name.
We should do test of talents.
How many tests of talents has Sung played?
Played one.
I think that might be. Yeah, there we go. You called it. All right. So, Auroll getting down the full mascot exhibition. Let's see if that is going to be able to close the game. This is going to be how much damage? 9 going in?
Okay, we got an expel, but we can test a talents that, and that'd be really good to test a talents. But I
think that was the right call.
Well,
You want to use Test
yeah.
of Talents. Oh my gosh. Well,
Yeah.
maybe not.
And yeah, I mean, holding on to the Test of Talents just to keep yourself safe. Well,
Wow.
I'm not gonna lie. You have to test talent. Now you have to test the talents because you don't have any other creatures in your deck, right?
I think so.
You have no choice but to test the talents this. You got to cut your losses at some point.
I think we're seeing that now because Auroll's going to have Sung on an 11 turn clock here. That was a really great turn for Sung, though.
That was incredibly good for Sung because his opponent, Sung only had 3 test of talent. I mean, 3 expels.
3 expels. Yep.
And one right after the other, right after the other. This could have been this could have been a closer game. Now you have Burying Books, and that's it. You have 9. Your opponent has 18 cards. You have nothing else to draw.
Sung only having Reject in hand. I'll be surprised if that doesn't come out at sideboarding. But, well, actually, Sung only has a lesson board, so probably won't. Who's to say, though? Do you think Auroll's approach now is to just draw the game out?
I mean, he can't.
He can't go for that long, true, but
I mean, what's he gonna? His opponent has 17 cards and he has 6 cards in his deck.
I guess what I'm thinking though is just like time wise. Both of these decks need the clock.
Well,
okay. Well,
never mind. Moving on. If this isn't a concede, I don't know what is. Well,
Auroll does have enough to deal with all these mascots.
Yeah, we have these Burying Books.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think Auroll wish he had another lesson in his sideboard that was one of the creature spells. Because
Auroll does have a Containment Breach, which gets rid of enchantments or artifacts, but Sung's not running any of those. It is fascinating how similar these decks are. And
Auroll
there it goes. Auroll says I'm done.
Yeah. You know, there's no money up for grabs in this tournament, so yeah, there's no point of just grinding it out that much. Taking out an Eliminate.
Oh yeah, I would take out all of the removal except for Expel, probably.
I would, yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, and we see putting Environmental Science in the main board.
We got Clausies in chat saying this is why you play Xena, which, okay, I can see that because both of our players had more mana than God, and they could have used that to mill out the other. I'm surprised Auroll doesn't have extra copies of Pop Quiz, but I guess Eureka Moment sort of serves that function as well.
Yeah, I mean, Eureka Moment is just a really good card. I think that Sung is probably realizing he doesn't have enough creatures to really do what needs to be done.
Auroll did keep in the Mage Hunter's Onslaught.
I mean, he didn't have a lot of choice.
Yeah. The thing is that, like I was saying, I feel like Auroll had one of the better constructed sideboards we've seen this season so far. Having a duress, which we did not see come in because it's an uncommon in this set.
Mm-hmm.
That's excellent tech against these control boards. Academic probation still in the sideboard. That's a lesson. Another test of talents. Another solve the equation to just be able to find things. Just very, very well put together against a bunch of things in the meta right now. And again, as this season is developing.
Yeah, well, I definitely feel like Sung has just a way better mirror match deck. Well, not really mirror match, but approach match because of having more creatures than your opponent, while also having more spells than more counter spells than your opponent. Is really going to help out.
Did you say that Sung took the better approach?
Yes, definitely.
So Auroll is wishing that he had left environmental sciences in the sideboard right now.
Yeah, this feels a little bad, but hey, we get our cultivate. We're dedicated. We'll be able to Eureka Moment next turn. So it looks like he did miss a land drop, right?
He did. He missed his third land drop.
Third land drop. So he's going to do some catching up. But I do think it's interesting is Biblioplex Assistant. That way you can... well, you can't actually know because Test of Talents exiles. So that's not going to help you if your opponent plays it on your spell. I feel like you have to hold up that. Use your Test of Talents right now. Whenever you can, and then you're going to bring it in. Because then you know that you have a counter spell lead over your opponent.
That's a really great approach there, Nathaniel. Because being able to recur your counterspell, that's going to extend this game quite a bit. Ooh, we see Test of Talents here?
Yeah, we tested Talents, and then next turn we Biblioplex Assistant. Because reject, you can pay out. Well,
okay.
I guess I lied. Maybe he's playing the more big brain play. He knows he has too many counter spells in his. I mean, not too many like destroy creature spells. Oh, here's Duress.
Oh, he did bring in Duress. Okay, I missed that.
This could be it.
If this gets approached, I don't think that's. Oh,
Test of Talents. The Test of Talents.
Oh man. Has a roll in denial in hand and approach. Oof.
When approach goes goodbye now.
Goes through.
Yeah, he's out. Song is out of mana, and this is where you drop Biblioplex Assistant, and like I said, get the counterspell back.
I think that Auroll is holding back. That way he can steady break, and then go ahead and get Mascot Exhibition.
Okay. Yeah, because you'll be able to pay for that Whirlwind Denial. That's also a good move. We're not... Oh, we're going to see this. It's going to get countered. Maybe that's what he wants. Oh.
Wow, okay. So the Test of Talents, that was something that we were expecting to see this season as well, as these decks become more and more controlling. Especially when, I mean, Ida, you were saying that you thought Test of Talents was going to end up being banned. I think we just saw the way to get around it.
Well, yeah, I mean, but the thing about getting... I think the possibility of it getting banned is possible, although it hasn't won yet.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's kind of like Oko. The only answer to Oko is having Oko faster. So the only answer to Test of Talents is having being able to counter a counter and hopefully counter a counter if that happens.
I think the tech that we'll see emerge is people playing negate, which is.
Oh, why would you play negate when you can just play test of talents?
Because you can negate their test of talents and play test of talents.
So you think that the answer to test of talents is more test of talents and more negates?
Yes.
So
So we see neither of these players blinking here. I think Auroll may be at the point where he can pay the amount for Whirlwind Denial.
Yeah.
However, he does know that Sung has at least one expel. However, he can activate probation that. Ooh, there's the play. Next turn.
Next turn during academic probation. Yeah, I can see that.
Ooh.
So there's always a possibility your opponent has test of talents.
Well, he doesn't have test of talents because Auroll test of talents. That is hard to say.
Tested, talented. That's right. I forgot. That's what makes test of talents so great.
That's right.
So approach.
I would academic probation before approach.
What
do I know?
What would you say?
Jack shit.
Would you put? I don't know what he has or they have. Sung has
Whirlwind Denial as well. We have 2 of those.
Oh, 2 Whirlwind.
Yeah.
Well, you
still
could have paid for it.
That's true. Auroll's just thinking of everything.
Yep. And this Lash of Malice gonna deal with this. So, Auroll has the first approach on the board, and also has more creatures.
Auroll, why would you scry away the pop quiz?
Because I don't know.
Because
I think you just solve the equation. Put it. Oh no, because you put it back in. Put it
back in your hand. Actually,
you might be able to afford.
You might be able to win this turn.
Yeah, you could have. Oof. You can
activate probation to get Whirlwind Denial, solve the equation, get approach.
No, you just get solve the equation, get approach, and you can pay for Whirlwind Denial. It's Whirlwind Denial is
it's only 3.
It's 3, so yeah, you have the mana for it. So this is
overkill.
A little overkill, but it's the safe play.
It is.
It's the no math play. Well, if there's a negate, oh,
there we go.
Going to game number 3. Saying keep it. Let's run it back, crew.
Dang. So, one note about banning test of talents. Clausey is another member of the Curiosity Integrity Committee, and a frequent commentator here suggests that banning that would create a Dragon's Approach meta.
Okay.
I'm going to try to make Dragon's Approach work. It's going to be so fetch.
I mean, hey, you got to believe what you got to believe in, right?
Would you keep this hand?
Yes.
You turn 1 duress?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay, so he still has it.
Turn 1 duress.
He keeps getting away with it.
Although I would play it on not turn 1.
Looks like Auroll agrees with you.
Turn 3 duress. Easy dubs.
Just to get the
have the most chances of your opponent having approach in their hand.
Good point.
But also having tested talents up. Well, you can do a turn 5 duress.
Auroll is sitting pretty here with double tested talents and shooting off a duress.
Yep, and his opponent missing. Pop quiz seems like not the greatest card to play. You get rid of No, I don't get rid of Test of Talents. I get rid of Serpentine Curve. But you know, that's
I can
me.
see that. Yeah, because Serpentine Curve is one of the only other threats that Sung is running.
Well,
However, Auroll's on a 10-turn clock right now.
oh, not anymore. JK, he is. Or they are, sorry. Because if you expel, it's going to get tested. You don't want that.
Has Auroll just missed a bunch of land drops, or did Sung,
he's missed
Sung able to ramp?
Auroll has missed land drops.
Okay.
And with environmental science, Sung has gotten. Oh, this is not good. Oh, you know, actually, this is a great play because you know you have too much remove. Never mind. Moving on. I keep forgetting he took out Test of Talents. He duress Test of Talents, not Serpentine Curve. My brain is thinking about Serpentine Curve.
Well, the Serpentine Curve's gonna get fairly big. I'm surprised it hasn't come out yet.
Well, I think it's the Test of Talents that's scaring Sung away from it.
Yeah, Auroll just has so many good ways to deal with things now, and we're gonna see him begin ramping up with that Cultivate. Gonna fire off Test.
Yeah, we'll be able to cultivate next turn, get some lands. Whirlwind Denial cannot double spell.
That also grows the curve. That was good move there by Sung.
Yeah, but you know, Sung fought for this Serpentine Curve, and like we've kind of mentioned earlier, the sideboard is not pretty for our hometown hero over here, Auroll, because he has a lot of removal in his deck that is probably going to go nowhere. I think this is an easy mascot.
I think I agree. I think going for academic probation here was a bit too early, but hey, what do I know?
What do you know? No, I mean, with it being tapped down, this is a good chance to kind of use your expel now. If your opponent does get a Test of Talents on your expel, it's not the worst.
It's also still enough mana to cast or to pay for Whirlwind Denial.
No.
Oh man.
Doesn't listen. I don't like this play.
You know, though, Auroll is one of our international superstars, and he might just be working on some sort of continental level that we can't understand.
I just I don't like Tested Talents on this, and the reason why is because your opponent has less cards to draw to get their approach.
Yeah.
But hey, what do I know? That's the phrase. It's the phrase of the weekend. Oh, what do I know?
Especially after watching Jerome first round, who is constantly baffling us.
Yeah.
Easy scry down on the lash. Auroll only has 7 minutes left.
I think that's enough time. What you need to do is just get your approach before you're... Okay, never mind.
Oh, whoa, okay.
Blue Sun Zenith.
And then draw 6. So I'm praying for a approach there. Man, doing that on Auroll's instep too gets the approach. I guess Auroll can can try to set it up where he academic probation's zenith, or excuse me,
Approach.
approach.
So to give him one turn.
They give him one turn to get his own.
We do have a lot of scry ability here with Auroll. Demonic Tutor, that's going to let you get your approach, but that's what we see. We're going to do Test of Talents, Demonic Tutor, Approach. But see, that's the thing. Oh, not Test of Talents. Test of Talent. No, yeah, because we duress the Test of Talents. So
There were one, though. There's still another.
there's one Test of Talents, and there's one Whirlwind Denial. So
I guess this is going to be Test of Talents because Roll and Denial Auroll can pay for it.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
We're not.
Oof, I don't know.
Do we?
Oh, because if we see a Test of Talents.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, Auroll.
Oh, Auroll.
You sweet Italian man.
Yeah. The sweetest of Italians. Well, I think what we're going to see is another slow battle where Auroll is just trying to stick through the match.
Eureka Moment's not bad. Yeah, it's a good keep.
Yeah, I think you play it on your turn, though.
Yeah, that way you can continue just digging through your library. 5 turns, assuming that Sung doesn't have any draw or another zenith to fire off.
We know that Sung has 1 counter spell left. And like I said, you gotta do this Eureka Moment right now. Like I said, you gotta do this Eureka Moment right now. But the problem with it now is what draw spells do you have?
Yeah. So Auroll can play Approach next turn, and he does have enough to be able to...
Well, and that's the game.
I think it's game. Wow.
So an Approach mirror match ends with Sung saying, "I'm the better Approach player."
That was so in the history of Curiosity, the couple of seasons that we've had, we have yet to have a true, like, barely any creatures control mirror. I have tried creatureless control multiple times, always to less than savory results, but that was generally enjoyable to watch, and I really look forward to seeing where these decks go in the meta.
Yeah. Well, we'll be right back. Next round, round 3, our final round of the evening. One thing that we do here is we do raise funds for our Crowned Cave Dweller. Now, you're probably thinking, why would I give money to some rando who wins? Well, you're not actually giving money to the winner. The winner chooses the winner of the Curiosity Crowned Cave Dweller at the Cave Dweller Clash at the end of the season. All the money raised goes right to an animal shelter of the winner's choice. So if you donate money while Swords or I are streaming on this Saturday, Saturday events, the Curiosity weekly events, that money will go towards the prize pool. If you're watching this on YouTube, Swords, what is that link again?
That's right. The link is paypal.me/curiositymtg. And we'll have that linked below. But if you're watching on Twitch right now, hey, you can go to that link and you'll see a picture of my cat yelling at you. and you can donate right there. And as Nathaniel said, that goes to a local animal shelter, the winner's choice, anywhere in the world.
Anywhere in the world. All right. So we'll see you in just a few seconds. Here we are, round number 3. We got Mana Sultan and Approach deck versus Jerome, our hometown hero, because
he's not playing Approach.
He's not playing Approach. So
Mana Sultan, who's the third member of Team Cat, he's always a hometown hero, but our boy's playing Approach. We can't.
We can't.
Can't.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
So we saw Jerome in round 1 doing teamer big stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Mana Sultan is doing a very interesting deck. Similar to what we just saw with Sun, it is an Azorius control type thing, but it is mainly flyers. So,
and it's mainly one land.
Yeah. So we'll see how far he gets on this.
Yeah. Is the Approach just a kind of backup win con in his deck?
That really is what it looks like, because it looks like an aggro deck. His other rare is Sparring Regimen.
Yeah.
Which is one of the most aggressive and powerful enchantments in the format. He's running 3 combat professors too, so it does really feel like Approach is a backup
Plan Approach. I like it. So we do have an island into find a land. So while we did miss a land drop, we're not super far behind.
Yeah, Guiding Voice on turn 1 or 2. I think that's a very underrated play, at least so far, because it builds your creatures, it makes you learn, and is really hard to get past.
I kind of disagree with you. It's not the greatest because there's only a few 1 and 2 drops, or there's a very few 1 drops.
True.
You know, if Mana Sultan didn't have a star pupil, then he would just have a hand that he'd be discarding now.
That's a good point. That's actually what we saw with his first draw, where it was, I think, 2 Guiding Voice, Approach, and lands.
Yep. So
Jerome's gonna build his lands up at least.
Yep. We got Sparring. Sparing Regime.
Sparing Regime.
Yeah, so we got Sparing Regime on the other side. Going to grow the Star Pupil. Now, I actually am kind of jealous because this, if Mana Sultan can just get 1 more creature down, which he has the ability to, this Star Pupil will just be a godsend. Usually it's a 1/1 that puts 1 counter on a card, but this is going to be putting 4 counters on a card.
Yeah, and Jerome, I don't think he has a way to exile it at all either.
Yeah. So, and this is it. Look, you're going to trade a 5/5 for a 5/5. You're going to have a 7/6 in the air. This does not feel great. Or sorry, no, it's a 6/5 in the air. No, 7/6.
7/6.
7/6.
So Jerome taking this or trading there, I guess it would sort of wash out if he hadn't have traded. It would have been 2 turns either way, but
there's always the possibility he has Buried in Books. I don't know what's in Jerome's hand or deck because it was 2 games ago and I've already forgotten.
He actually doesn't have Burying Books, which is an interesting choice. Doesn't have it in the sideboard either. He does have creative outbursts, and he does. It looks like he may have enough mana for that, but even that's not going to deal with the Inkling.
Yeah, now I remember. Not having something to deal with flyers is not going to be good against Sultan's deck.
One thing we saw with our first week's winner of Andrew, he had Tangle Trap in the sideboard, and that's like a clear sideboard card, but because people are still working with the learn or the lesson board, sort of bread and butter sideboard material has yet to be experimented with.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are doing Containment Breach in the sideboard for that purpose, but I think there's not a lot of targets. Now, obviously, there's Sparing Regime on the opposite side, but there's only like 3 or 4 actual targets that are worth trying to take over and kill.
And Jerome was just not having it. Said, I'm done. I'll take my lumps and go home.
My lumps?
Yeah, I'll take my lumps.
Is that a Southern thing again?
That's like that's a saying. It's like
what's
like
you getting hit?
Yeah, it's like I'll take my lumps.
Your lovely lady lumps?
Yeah. you like you fight someone in the alley.
When have you gotten in a fight?
I've gotten in one fight.
Oh, what was his name?
His name was Ian.
Okay.
I did not actually connect or anything. I was in a bathroom.
Oh.
And he sprayed me with Windex, and I was not having that.
Oh my.
Bet you viewers really wanted to know that.
I once got in a fight, kind of. A guy was putting Sharpie on people. He had a Sharpie. Mm-hmm. And he went to Sharpie me. I knocked it out of his hand, and then it threw. It went flying, and then I picked it up, but we both went to grab it, picked it up, and I stabbed him with it. And you're like, well, that doesn't sound like a fight. Well, it was his Sharpie. It was his prized possession, and I broke it because I stabbed him with it, so the tip fell off. Anyways, we see a professor of symbiology and now an Inkling.
I feel like Mana Sultan is in a very hard to beat position here, especially with Jerome missing a land drop. Oh man, having to discard there.
Yeah.
Mana Sultan can, we'll see this guiding voice come down, and then probably Sparing Regime.
Yeah, Sparing Regime, just a powerhouse. Especially, I feel like it learning, I think it's an underpriced card. But, once again, it is a rare. So it learns, it gives your creatures vigilance-esque. Because I say esque because they can still be expelled on the stack. Another discard by Jerome, and you know what? If I was Jerome, I'd just be happy that we got to the finals.
That's right. And just to clarify, viewers, we do know that it's sparring regimen.
No, we don't.
Wow, Mana Sultan made quick work of Jerome there. Kind of just bulldozing.
Well, let's get Mana Sultan in voice chat, and so we can interview him. Here we are with the winner of Curiosity Challenge Strixhaven, week number 3. It is the 3rd member of Team Cat, Mana Sultan. How you doing, Sultan? How you feel?
Feeling good, man. First and foremost, I just want to thank all the fans out there, the millions and millions watching at home, giving up their Saturday to spend time with us. It means a lot, and I'm just happy to do it for the community, man.
Well, I mean, we are the only Magic the Gathering tournament on Saturdays, so, it makes sense why everyone would be watching us. Now, I've got a big question for you. What is the deal with Approach of the Second Sun being in your deck? Because I don't like it.
It makes zero sense at all. But the the lore of just having a you win the game kind of thing, it's always
Mhm.
nice. Should I put in like the 3/2 flyer that learns when it dies? Probably. The 3/1 flyer that you look at your opponent's hand and suddenly costs 3 more? Probably. But I'm a sucker for having the card dead in my hand the entire game and not being able to cast it. So that's the rationale behind it.
Well, yeah, because like coming to this week, I had seen your deck, actually very early versions of it, and knew you were doing Azorius Flyers. But then seeing approach, I was like, oh god, is he doing control as well? Which, hey, I know you're a great player, but I like big props to melding those two flavors of Magic.
Yeah, no, definitely 100% incorrect. But again, it's why we play the game. One day I'm gonna pull off the approach win in my 16 land aggressive flying deck, and it'll feel great. It'll make it all worth it.
One other thing here too. So, uh, you chose to build in a color pair that is not necessarily supported by this format. It's not one of the five colleges. Talk to us about the challenges or benefits of that.
Yeah, I think it's these synergies are just underlooked and not really exposed in like the traditional limited play. So like this play style is extremely aggressive. Like you see this with Silver Quill, but it's not. I don't think it's as evasive. You
Mhm.
just get the +1/+1 counter synergies with the star pupils and the guiding voices, but it's a different take on it. So I think it catches a lot of people off guard when most of the field's trying to play like teamer or 3-color piles of control stuff.
Very interesting. Now, you know, knowing that you are the crown cave dweller and you only can change your sideboard, how many non-lessons did you have in your sideboard?
Zero. Everything is the way it is. I'm gonna probably swap out a removal spell for another expanded anatomy. That seemed to be
Mhm.
very clutch to kind of like close out games, and I was hurting for one a couple times, but no, it's all a learn board, taking advantage of that mechanic.
I mean, it makes sideboarding a lot easier when you just have lessons, right?
Yeah, yeah. Anytime you can use less brain power, it's always good.
Gotcha.
Nice. Well, Sultan, you also have been running the Team Cat Book Club. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so it's an 8-person draft pod that is every Wednesday at 7 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time for those across the pond, and it's really just a place where streamers get to kind of fellowship over limited, and it's a real cool time. Good mix of like higher, uh, I guess larger streamers and smaller streamers, so it's a nice mix of those two. Get some exposure and just quality gameplay, man. Because with this COVID thing, with everything going on, missing that interaction, and that's something that we here at Team Cat stand by. It's to bring the gathering back to Magic. That's a big part of it.
Yeah, I actually really enjoy those, and I'm gotta say, I have not missed a single week of the book club. Um, well, thank you, Mana Sultan, and we look forward to seeing you next week and seeing how your games go then.
Excited, man. Thanks, appreciate it. Go Team Cat. Hoo, hoo, hoo.
Nice. So that was the Mana Sultan. Swords, what did you feel about Flyers this week? I know that in match number 2, there was a big kind of who had the flyer, and how to deal with that. Do you think that this might be part of the meta, or do you think it was just this week some people had flyers and some people didn't, and that's pretty much it?
I think that the prevalence of flyers is something that people have not reconciled with. We actually saw this week one as well, where our winner did have answers to flyers in their sideboard. And looking at Strixhaven, there are not all that many flyers. I could probably there's like Combat Professor, Frost Trickster. Those are the two key creatures. But Inkling Summoning creates a 2/1 flyer, and that's the one we're going to see the most. So it's been interesting that we have yet to see a single Skurrid colony play any big role. That's a 2-mana 2/2 with reach that becomes a 4/4 when you hit 8 lands.
Oh yeah.
And so the only real ways to deal with flyers are Skurrid Colony and Tangle Trap, besides other just removal spells. So I think we may, as the format develops, we may see some people using both Skurrid Colony and some of their removal spells more on their flyers rather than a Quandrix Pledge Mage or some other bigger threat.
I can see that. I can see that. Well, hey, it's been a good weekend, and it's time to close out. So until next time, we're Curiosity!
Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. Join our fucking Discord.
Subscribe!